Hey everyone! So it's been a little while since I just hopped on here and chatted with y'all. So today seemed like a good day, and I would like to say that I am now up to, I believe, 41 subscribers, which is pretty exciting for me. I mean, you know, it's not a million like some people on YouTube have, but I am appreciative to all of you who are loyal subscribers, checking out my content. And I must do a shout out to probably my biggest fan, Heather Perry. Thanks, girl. Love you, love you, love you. Anyway, so now that I'm back in the gym and back to working my way back to some powerlifting kinds of things and working my way back to heavier weights, I've come to the realization that, hey, maybe I should hop on here and talk a little bit about the equipment that I use, the gear that I wear when I'm lifting heavy. I don't know if you'll find that interesting. I kind of find it interesting because look, when I started doing this, I walked in, I didn't know what powerlifting was, so I sure as heck didn't know about knee sleeves and wrist wraps and belts and like why would I need all of this equipment? But over the years I have slowly started using some supportive equipment. Definitely did not use anything at all in the beginning because as a beginner it's just not necessary. None of it is necessary unless you are interested in really working towards kind of a PR, maximum effort kind of thing if you're competing. Anyway, so here we go. Let's chat a little bit about what I use, what you see me using in my videos, and you will be seeing probably a little bit more of that as I ramp up my training back into my powerlifting programming. So, like I said, when I first started strength training, I didn't use any of this. I did not have special shoes. I did not have special clothes. I just showed up as I was, and just, you know, through coaching and figuring things out, have started to acquire the things that help me that I really like. And honestly, also as a competitive powerlifter, things that give you a little bit of an advantage. So let's jump right in. So what you see hanging behind me are belts. I have two because one is my daughter's. These come in really, really handy when you are, you know, lifting heavy weights, and it helps you stay safe. It helps you brace your core, gives you something to push against. So that was probably one of the first things that I purchased as far as equipment goes. Got my gym bag here, so I'm just gonna kind of randomly pull things out. So I do wear a belt for heavy loads for both squatting and deadlifting. Some people wear them for bench, and I used to wear it for a bench, but I've gotten away from that. So that's just kind of a personal preference if you are a bench presser, whether you wear a belt or not. Okay. Squat shoes. These are shoes that have a heel, kind of a lift in the heel. Again, this is, you know, this is kind of an individual thing. Some people squat wearing flat shoes. That's certainly how I started out. But just based on kind of your body, and you know, this just helps some people. So if you're not sure if investing in a pair of squat shoes would be good for you or not, what you can do as part of your training is just elevate your heels a little bit. Maybe you have like a rubber mat or something that you can put under your heels when you're squatting, and just see, many of us, myself included, I think it helps with kind of our pelvic positioning, helps us kind of stay neutral and where we need to be. Can help with depth. So if you're having any issue at all getting below parallel, again, only if you are working towards a competition, do you even really need to be worrying about getting below parallel? So anyway, so squat shoes is something that I picked up along the way. Started out using flat shoes, discovered that this works well for me. All right, my logbook. So I didn't do this in the beginning, but again, something as the years went on, I log my numbers. I write down what I do in my training sessions. And honestly, I mean, I'm pretty competitive, so I like to see the progress. And I would, for reals, have arguments with my coach because I would get frustrated and I was like, I did more than this last week. And then, you know, I would get frustrated in training and he's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, yes, I did. So the logbook really helped dispel the need for us to get into that. It's like, well, what'd you do last time? It's right here in black and white. And what I discovered is that my memory was usually wrong. And so what I would find is that when I would flip back and see, well, yeah, I did heavier weight, but it was for fewer reps, for instance. So yeah, so I would just forget that little important detail. It's like, well, yeah, you did 10 pounds heavier last week, but you only did 3 reps, and today you're doing it for 5. So anyway, logbook, definitely recommend writing down your numbers for lots of good reasons, to just see your progress. I mean, it's really great to see in black and white your progress. All right, so these are my CrossFit shoes that I wear for powerlifting. I love these. So these are Reebok. I don't remember exactly what they're called. I've had them forever, but they're very flat. They have a wide toe box. They have support around the ankle. So I used to squat in these. Now these are pretty much my deadlift shoes. So since I started squatting in squat shoes, I love these shoes. I started out in Chucks. I started out in socks because, you know, I'd come in my like running shoes. So when I was deadlifting, he'd be like, take your shoes off. So I started off just training in my sock feet, and then I picked up some Chucks, which I thought were hideous. It's like, I knew I was serious at that point, that I was like, I'm buying ugly shoes. Now I think Chucks are kind of cute, but at the time I did not think they were cute. But anyway, so then I graduated to these Reeboks. You can get these on Amazon. They come in different colors. Had these forever. Again, they're a CrossFit shoe. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but great for deadlifting because they're flat but supportive. Okay, so then I have my knee sleeves. So bought these when I started getting a little more serious about competing, but also if you are like me and a little more mature, on the mature side, or if you just have any kind of concern at all about your knees, I definitely recommend these SBD knee sleeves. So they are very supportive. They keep your knees nice and warm. They're not going to give you help like knee wraps. So if you're not super familiar, some federations allow you to use knee wraps, and you can wrap your knees crazy tight and it would actually give you a bounce out of the bottom. It can add weight to the bar for sure. These, not so much. These are more just about support. In the federation that I compete in now, these are permitted in competition. So again, I really like these. I don't use them all the time. If I know that I'm doing a speed day where I'm keeping the weight lighter, or lately I've not been using them because I've got away with COVID, got away from training heavy, and I'm just now beginning to increase my weight. So I've not been wearing them much, but as the weight gets heavier, I will be putting these on. So, you know, you don't want to become dependent on your equipment. Okay. there's that. All right, what else? So you've seen me use wrist wraps. So these are Inzer wrist wraps. You can get them in different lengths. They are allowable in most, if not all, federations. I wear these when I'm squatting. I find, you know, just holding the bar, it's just hard on my wrists. And literally, so I don't wear them when I'm squatting light weights because, you know, I don't want my wrists, I want my wrists to get stronger. So lighter weights, warm-up sets, I don't have these on, but as the weight gets heavier, then I'll add the wrist wraps. Or if I'm doing something where I'm doing lots of reps, even if the weight is a little lighter, if I'm doing pause squats where I'm literally sitting in the bottom, holding it, they come in handy as well. So these are just to support your wrists because my wrists do tire, especially, it's weird, but sometimes I'm like, the weakest link to my squat are my wrists. Crazy, weird. I also wear these, of course, for bench pressing as the weight gets heavier again. So I don't want to get dependent on them. I want my wrists to get stronger. So warm-up sets, I'm not using them. Lighter weights, like I'm not using them. But as the weight gets heavier, I add these in. You can decide how tight you want them to be, how supportive you want them to be. When the weight is heavy, I wrap them freaking tight, and my hands will hurt almost. And I will even sometimes get like, I don't know, blood vessel, I don't know, like I'll have like almost bruising on my hands. Sometimes I wrap them so tight. So I don't like to keep them on any longer than I absolutely have to. But again, warm-up sets, you know, as the weight gets heavier, I may put them on, but just not as tight until I get to kind of, you know, 90% or so, then I'm wrapping them pretty tight. Anyway, so those are my wrist wraps. And I'm not, you know, I'm not getting paid for any of this. I don't have any sponsorships because, you know, I got 41 subscribers. Anyway, but this is just what I use, what works for me. Okay, I did pick up an elbow sleeve. Every once in a while, my elbow gets a little cranky, and so I got this on Amazon. Don't even know what this brand is. I just slide it on to give my elbow a little bit of, keep it warm, a little bit of support, usually during bench press, sometimes during squat. All right, what's next? So I do have another piece of CrossFit gear, even though I have never ever, not one time, done CrossFit. These are called Waddies, and they are awesome. So, not a glove girl. I admit I kind of give you side eye if you're wearing gloves. So, sorry, it's kind of the truth. Don't wear gloves. Dudes. I don't know how many guys follow me, but don't wear gloves. Anyway, you can wear gloves, all right. I'm still gonna do this. Anyway, these are not gloves. These are Waddies. So I will pull these out for deadlift after I've done working sets, and then if I'm doing like drop down sets for high reps, if I am doing block pulls, extra heavy, trap bar, because trap bar is pretty hard on your hands. If I'm trying to kind of save my hands from. Okay, so twice now while I am talking to y'all, people are trying to call me like, just send me a text message. I don't want a phone call. No, I don't even know who it was, but anyway, so when somebody calls me, it's not my videos. Alright, stop calling me, people. I'm trying to do a very, very important YouTube video. So Waddies, again, I use Waddies for high rep deadlifts, trap bar. Don't use them for kind of my main lift moves, like if I'm doing deadlifts for sets of 5, sets of 3, sets of 1, working sets, I'm not using these. I'm using these for drop down sets, block pulls, So, but they're not gloves. Okay. Wrist straps. So I don't know, maybe a year ago bought my own. These are called Rip Toned. Again, probably got them on Amazon. So I learned a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, that when I'm doing barbell RDLs, it's better to do double overhand grip instead of reverse grip, which is how I tend to pull, to protect, prevent, you want to avoid injury. So because you're under tension longer, you're holding the weights, you're not setting them down on the floor, it's better to do overhand row in order. For me to get the weights up to where I want them to be, I need a little extra support for grip. So anyway, so that's why I got these. So that's when I'm using these for when I'm doing barbell RDLs, double overhand grip, and the weights just getting to where I would typically do a reverse grip for safety, injury prevention, double overhand grip. These come in handy. So I'm trying to think if there's any other thing I use these for. But the good news is that they're cheap. So what else do I have in here? I think that's it. Let's see. I've got chapstick and gum, and hair ties. Oh, I do have a couple more things. So my dentist really wants me to wear a mouth guard. So when I'm training for a meet and the weights get heavy, and this thing hasn't been out here in a while, it needs to be disinfected, clean. But I made myself a custom mouth guard. Again, bought that on Amazon. Helps protect your teeth because if you're bearing down, you might damage your teeth. So there's that. And then I have some liquid chalk in here. My gym has chalk available, so this is really for when I'm like visiting a gym or I'm here in my garage gym. This liquid chalk stuff, I actually got this as part of a box. You can do those monthly subscription deals. You don't really know what you're getting. It's like Christmas. So I like that. I like having that on hand. And then, oh, this is interesting. So I have the kilo-pound conversion chart. Very important because I can't do it in my head. My gym has pound plates. So when we go to a meet and everything's in kilos, there's the good and the bad. So figuring out your warm-ups is a little trickier, doing the math in your head. But I honestly like when I'm on the platform and I don't actually know the exact number that's on the bar, especially when I am, trying to PR. Although a lot of the commentators will tell you what it is for the spectators. They will announce it, so I'm trying to tune that out, have my earbuds in. Because I personally, I always know roughly, but for some reason mentally, it's part of my mental games that I am better. I don't know exactly what it is. So, anyway, just kind of my competition strategy. I know that coach would not put something on the bar that he didn't think that I could do. So, anyway, that's why it kind of works for me. So anyway, hope that this was helpful. I don't know. Again, if you're just getting started, you don't need any of this. You don't need any of it. I have been doing this since 2012 and just slowly started, as I got more serious and kind of more nerdy about it, I just started picking up stuff. So shoot me some questions. And again, you'll be seeing me use more of